Welcome to the Talking About Life podcast. I am your host, Ian. As always, we start the show with gratitude. We start by thanking the guest. Thank you so much for coming on the show. We have Joe R. on the show today, here to tell us about his passions and positivity. We also thank the audience. Thank you, everyone out there who's listening. We appreciate you for tuning in. Like, follow, share. You know what to do. And then we also thank oneness, universe, source, magic, God, whatever you want to call it. If you believe in something higher than just the human level that's unifying all of us in his good and light, we thank and give gratitude to that energy. And that's it. And then we can start the show. So, Joe, what's going on? How are you doing today? And then how are you doing in general?
First off, thank you for having me. Thank you for your patience and both of our schedules today. Um, my name is Joe R. I also go by Joe Domenic. I've went by names like Joey So Serious. I've worn many hats. I'm a father. I'm a husband. I'm just a guy who has passions on passions on passions of just trying to help people and change the world to make it better than I found it when I got here. Um, I am in no comparison to judge other people's struggles, but I at the same time I know what my struggles were. I know what they are. I know how I'm going to limit those possibilities for not just myself but other people. So that's just what I'm about. But we can dive into all those things. I'm gonna turn the tables. I want to know more about you,
Turn him.
man.
What do you want to know, brother? There's no rules except passion and positivity. So turn them tables. What do you want to know here? Ask me the first question.
What are
I'm with
your
it.
passions? Like, what are you like? Obviously, you got this show. What made you start this show?
My passion is funny. My passion, I feel, is to some extent passion itself. I enjoy getting excited. I'm the type of person, I'll always say I'm not into sports, but if you want to go with someone who's gonna like cheer with you as much as someone who is, I'm the next best person to like a diehard fan because you just tell me like who our guys are, and that's it, bro. Like those are my boys. That's our Warriors. I'm screaming at the top of my lungs. Like I like being in that positive energy. So I'm like, what am I gonna do my podcast about? I'm like, I literally just like passion. I'm like, I think that's enough, man, because I like such an eclectic mix of things, and I'm like, what unifies them? It's not the thing itself usually for me. It's the person doing it, and if that person is hype about it, then I'm with it. Beyond that, I'm all about aliens, wizards, magic, anything esoteric. Um, I'm kindness and positivity, but then beyond that, like I like mystical stuff. Like I like Pokemon as a kid growing up, Yu-Gi-Oh, things relating to Egypt, bro, Naruto, One Piece, anime,
He likes
all these different things. Oh,
disappearing
hold
and
on.
magic. He said he just disappeared off the feed.
We'll get to this at some point, but we have the broadband guy from New Jersey here. I'm in New York. We might need to get the broadband guy for New York. We might need to get like a three-way call going on. We might need to just get rid of that guy and bring in Joey here for the broadband guy for Long Island specifically. Um, but yeah, I think I kind of
Look
I like
who's up
anime.
again.
I like Naruto, One Piece, pointing to what I got behind me, all the V Friend stuff as well.
But so I love everything that you said you were passionate about because that's exactly what I'm about. So yeah, I do broadband stuff. I do like a lot of but what I do is marketing and marketing to people's passions is trying to get them to like all right, so let me start from scratch. I grew up in Trenton, New Jersey. I'm half Italian, half Puerto Rican, raised by an African American stepfather. I pretty much lived in every poor neighborhood in Trenton. I know like perspective upon perspective of, different dynamics, demographics, and like I'm not saying like I'm the great white hope. No, no, no. What I'm saying is that like I have different perspectives for different situations that not many have, but I'm so interested to people because of that to people who have perspectives that I don't have because like it's almost like I want to know what I don't know and I want to help those who don't know what they don't know with what I know, if that makes any kind of sense. So like for
That don't know and
instance,
want to know.
yes, yes. So like I think you had said something earlier today on Twitter was about like leading a horse to water, etc. And yeah, like I I could lead them there, but if they drown or if they swim or if they drink, that's I can't control what their next action is. But I'm gonna do my best to make sure that that they're at least not thirsty when they leave. But
Right.
yeah, man,
I
I'm
like
just
what I said is you could lead a horse to water, but you can't teach them to fix a kitchen sink.
yeah, that's
That's I think that's how it goes.
right. But so yeah, like I'm into like anything pretty much positivity. Like I've like I said, I've had a lot of experiences. I've done music, I've done touring, I've done management at a music television show at one time. It's a lot of different hats at a lot of different times. But you had posted something about movies today. Like, what's your favorite? Yeah, what's your favorite movie and why?
My favorite movie is probably my favorite movie is probably The Green Mile. It changes at times. The Green Mile is such a classic for me because it incorporates a lot of different elements of what I think in cinematography and film critics and cinema critics, what they hold important in their values in general. And then it also has that fan magic, that spectacular. I don't know what it was. I've never seen it in another movie, or I haven't seen it in a movie before this, and it kind of sets the tone for other movies. It does something. It does something where it sets you up for. It's a long movie. It sets you up for a lot of the movie to think you're watching kind of like one sort of movie, and you know the format and the plot and the way it goes, and then it pivots and it goes all the way to where you thought it wasn't, to where I thought it wasn't going to go. I've seen a lot of movies. I'm usually a third of the way in going, all right, this is where we're going. I didn't see that coming. So I was glad that I was amazed. And then the direction it goes, without giving away major spoilers, is it's a very spiritual direction. And it turns out being this prison movie in the beginning. So I'm like, I love the pivot. I love the way the actors put so much into the character development. And it's a lot of different. It's a blend between the normal and the spiritual, and I think a way you don't expect, that's unique and emotionally satisfying.
I like that. That's a great explanation of that movie. I I like that. Green Mile was very good. I think what started like really getting deep into movies for me was a movie called Cool Hand Luke with Paul Newman. Got rabbit in your blood.
Great
but
movie.
but so like that movie is just like because like it gave like a different perspective towards like a lot of like there's so many different character arcs, but his in particular, like Luke's like was more of that like I love that smile, that grin, like you know what's about to happen and you're just like, all right, okay, like all right, cool, let's go. This is like it, it'll be all right afterwards, or like like it'll just be another thing on another thing. Yep. And then like the next one that did that for me was Requiem for a Dream.
Oh, dude, that's in my list. That's like in my top 10. I think that's top 5. Off the charts. Number 1 cinematography, in my opinion. If that's
And the story too, like the different character arcs that like that people had, like it was just like right upon. It's like holy crap, like one thing after another, and I was just like, all right. And the reason I resonated with that is because like I've seen every one of those points of view. Like I've seen like it before my face. So I was just like to
you've met
see
the
it on
best.
film, like you know what I mean. Like you're like this is crazy. Like this is like wow. Okay. Then there was Magnolia. Have you ever seen that one?
No, I don't even know if I heard of that. What is that? Give me the brief rundown.
All right, Magnolia. I just told you about a character arc, right?
Yeah,
Imagine like 15 of them at one time in one movie, and then all hell breaks loose.
that sounds wild. That sounds like Pulp Fiction or something.
Here's the character list: Tom Cruise, John C. Riley, Philip Seymour Hoffman, the list goes on. It's just like a non-stop like star-studded cast, and everything goes wrong at one. It's like Murphy's Law meets a hurricane and a tornado. Plagues are happening. A plague happens in the movie. Dogs dropping dead, and at the end you learn a lesson.
I'll see it. I'll definitely see
Look,
it. I don't know how that didn't cross my path earlier, but I'll see that.
it was a rare one. I don't think people are ready for it now. Like honestly, I didn't know
That's what I'm
Idiocracy
saying.
was going to be a documentary, but here we are.
That's another one. I that one I at least heard of. I never actually watched it. I've seen like people show me clips of it.
That one takes a little bit of patience because at one point you're like, "Am I really watching this?"
Like a documentary about America and how dumb we are and how dumb we're going to become. And it was done like a while ago, and now we're in the part where we're much dumber. So it didn't age well, or it did
It
age
was
well.
so far back that Luke Perry was a star in the movie. No, not Luke Perry. Luke Wilson, rather. Luke Wilson. I think him and like Justin Long were. Oh yeah, and what's his name? The Old Spice guy, Terry Crews. He's in the movie.
Oh, that guy.
Yeah. So finally the last movie I think that like really like got me thinking was I said Magnolia, but 25th Hour.
That another one I've never heard of. Give me again. Give me a rundown here.
Spike Lee joint.
Love Spike Lee.
The Yeah. So the way it was explained to me was it's about redemption. And the whole movie through is like uh Edward Norton Jr. basically from Fight Club, basically going through this whole phase of being like an all-star basketball player in high school to turn drug dealer to being busted to now realizing he's about to go away for life because of New York's three strike rule or whatever, or like the rule that they have against narcotics. And so now he's got to go make things right with everybody before he goes. But at the same
Interesting. Yeah,
time,
that sounds
people
dope.
are having struggles making things right with him and with themselves. So you're like watching like all this unfold at the same time.
But other movies, just to list out, just so you know, some I like Mr. Nobody. Fight Club's big on there. Um, all of the Tarantino movies are up there. Pulp Fiction's up there. Kill Bill is up there somewhere. Sunshine of a Spotless Mind. Little Miss Sunshine is on there somewhere. Kung Fu Hustle is one I thought was great. The movie The Nines, sleeper movie, not super highly produced, but conceptually a great movie. And
You ever
I
see
got a
Bubba
bunch of
Hotep?
others. Nope, Bubba Hotep did not. Dude, you got the because I'm always looking for movies. I'm like, what good movies should I watch? People are always telling movies I've seen or I know are like, no, I'm not watching that. You keep throwing out ones I haven't seen, and I'm not like I have no bad opinion of. So I'm gonna have great time after this watching a bunch of movies.
Bubba Hotep is um basic. All right, there's a guy who's an Elvis impersonator. It takes place in a retirement home. And this Elvis impersonator swears that he's the real Elvis.
Okay.
And his story is just beyond it's believable. It's like, wait, this could work out. And it's
Yeah, it might be him.
like yeah, like so what happens is there's this like Egyptian tomb that was basically stolen from a museum and it was like it they stole it, they got into an accident, and it fell into the creek by the old people's cemetery or this old people's home. And this like Bubba Hotep is now haunting and cursing the old folks' home. And it's up to Elvis and JFK, who's also in the retirement home, and he's black. Yes. And his story is that they didn't kill him; they just made him that way to like and kept him there.
Yeah.
And it's played by Ozzie Smith, and he's played and his characters and so, it's the most hilarious B movie independent film Sundance Award winner I have ever seen. because it's
That's
just
wild.
like, and they're out hunting Bubba Hotep, and they're
That's
old.
amazing. These are the type of movies like I love this type like some sort of like Pineapple Express kind of like what is going on? What's even happening? Like I love that. That's what I look for in a movie. Like there's a level where it's too much, but if you pull it off well, which is what you're describing, I'm like, yes, give me something I don't expect. Give me something that doesn't fit the formula. I haven't seen. It's not the classic like start conflict climax over kind of. Give me something weird.
Yeah, exactly. Like, make my mind think differently. Like, give me something that like can totally like get take me away out of reality. Like that's why, and that was one of the reasons I love like the Avengers films. Like and just because like it changed your. I know the comic books were awesome, but like the multiverse thing idea, it was just like, and the concept of like the way I seen it was just like the way it played out in film was like, okay, didn't see that coming. Okay, cool, but I don't know. I something that can challenge you and something that can challenge your thought where you don't see what's coming. I love those kind of films.
Enter the Void is a good
But
one. It starts with a guy dying, and then you watch his journey through death. And then Waking Life is a good one. I don't even know what really. It's all these different. There's a guy, and you're kind of following him, and then all of a sudden he's gone, and then you're watching these other people. It's like you're watching him dreaming, and in the dreams he's in some of them, and some of the dreams he's having are about like other people, and you're just watching him dream or you don't even know if that's what it is, honestly, and I'm still not sure. But that Waking Life, another good one to throw out there. Same effect.
like and you mentioned Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. That was another one.
Ooh, that never even for a concept for that. Brilliant.
So that one was a good one, and I think what was the one? The Truman Show.
Ooh,
You
I
know what?
love the Truman Show.
That one literally had me for a good while looking over my shoulder, like, could this be real? Like,
Dude,
am I this?
definitely.
But
Definitely.
it was there's a lot like good concept films like that are always like I said, challenging to the mind and always good for that kind of stuff because you're able to, I guess, think differently. And I don't think that's encouraged enough, really. Is like,
It's
just
discouraged.
yeah.
Could get canceled if you think too differently.
That's the thing right there. So like, and that's been something that I've been trying to change, like even like through like all my roles, like even in government and everything. It's just trying to change the perception of how we engage with community, how we engage with like each other, how we like, like everything doesn't have to be a pushback. Like there's got to be some give, some like, some negotiation as well. So
How do we cancel the cancel culture, right?
yeah, let's cancel culture. Let's start
I'm with
listen.
it.
Let's go with listen culture.
I genuinely don't get it, dude. Like the average American's opinion is, hey, if someone said something that I don't like, not even just now, but like within the past 45 years, let's just destroy who they are today. Like, dude, I've gone through a lot of phases in life. There's times where I look at who I was and I go, I don't approve exactly of that person anymore. I too would repudiate the words and actions of this individual. But if you got me today and showed me that I said this a while back, like I don't what I deserve that today, like for having changed and recognized it myself before you heard it. Now you're looking into the past, and now I deserve a spear through the chest. Like, dude, like I agree that was bad, but I worked on myself. I went to a psychologist and everything. Like what? You know what I'm saying? Like I can still get canceled. Like
I
I'll
see
give you the
like
receipt for the doctor, dude.
I see like but yeah, and that's the thing too, like and we put so much like like clout into people's opinions, like especially on like social media as well about each other and like ourselves and I look at it, I'm like, well, there's two reasons for this. Like one, let's be honest here. You see the things, some of the posts on social media, they're like, if you could tell yourself, a younger yourself, something, what would you tell them? And I'm like, I wouldn't tell them anything. No, if I went to 16-year-old me, I'd laugh at me. I would have to ask myself before I ask 16-year-old self, would me telling him this change who I am now?
Right.
Like, is that what I want to do? Because I know what I screwed up then. I still have time to fix it, unless there's like something that's gonna like change the world or something, and like we're living in this Terminator scene. But I mean that's a whole other. But no, I can't justify telling 16-year-old me something that will change it in effect and probably chart a different course of negativity in my life and others. Like I
You
don't know,
never
maybe I
know.
watched
It could go bad or good.
I mean, maybe I watched the Butterfly Effect with Ashton Kutcher too much. Like, who knows? I just don't want to. But
I saw that movie. Yeah, if you saw the butterfly effect, everything you do in the past makes one of your arms blow up or something, and it's dangerous.
I hate to laugh at that, but like that's kind of like what happened in the movie.
That's what happens.
Like something bad
Yeah.
happened. So
I feel the same way. Like maybe something good would happen, but I don't hate myself enough on any given day to like take that gamble. I'm like, well, I'm like comfortable with me now. Like I could be more comfortable, which I guess would be cool. But like, what if I'm less comfortable? That would suck. And like, I already like me now, so I'm not risking it. I'm not. I'd have to hate myself to throw those dice, and I don't. So I'm not gonna do that.
agreed. There's no risk or reward here, so like we're good. Well, there's a lot of risk, but I
Exactly.
don't see the reward.
Lots of risk.
So, but yeah, the other thing is that like it is that thing that enabled us. Back to broadband. I think we as a society really got screwed over by like the ISPs from the 90s.
How
I
so?
think they're to blame for our desire for instant gratification. Because as soon as that on demand button was created, we got DoorDash, Instacart, we got everything is like on demand and everyone wants like everything right away. And I think like it really hurt the process of patience and really and because that's one of the things I have the hardest part dealing with is patience of being patient waiting. So
I would wonder if it's the other way around, that the internet arose because we don't have patience, because we want that instant gratification. Not that it created the demand, but that it provided the supply. I think we've always wanted, like, if you watch, like, I don't know if you ever saw, but I took like a home ec, I don't know where. You watch commercials from like the 50s and it's like, have your dishes cleaned now. Have it done in sec. And this was before the internet. This was just electricity. You know what I mean? Like the second
I'm
we
sorry,
heard we
ISPs.
could have it now, we were like, yeah, we were fiends for now. We've
I'm
always
sorry,
wanted now.
ISPs. I didn't mean it. I'm sorry. Kowski over here is right. He swung me. He swung my vote. I'm blaming Al Gore.
I'm blaming Al Gore. Let's dig him up.
No, he's who created the internet, right? Like, that's where we're going.
It's rumored. There are rumors that he did.
No, thank him because that's what's making this platform possible.
100%, dude. It's the double-edged sword. Everything,
Yeah.
technology, whatever you bring up, everything's got a yin yang to it. I think.
I'm just kidding. I believe that like everything like can be better for people. Like that's one of the reasons I'm big into digital equity and I'm big into broadband is because I do believe that it can level the playing field for people. It can create jobs, economic development. It can really help with a lot of different use cases. Um, for instance, imagine let's take the concept of DoorDash since I brought it up earlier. You are a struggling municipality. You don't have franchise restaurants, chain restaurants, anything like that. You're known as a violent community as well. Nobody really in the area wants to deliver to your neighborhoods who know of your neighborhoods. You don't have the mobility to go to the suburbs to go to the chain restaurants that everyone talks about, like the Chili's, the Applebee's, the whole thing. It's just but you have technology through mobile devices to access them. So what do? How do you use that data? You can basically say, look, you can order, you can pinpoint what the favorite restaurants are. You can pinpoint where the UEZ zones, for no one knows, they're urban enterprise zones. They give grant money to build those enterprise zones up. You can create what would be called an entertainment district or a business district or something that to that effect, and have to go restaurants of those top restaurants that people are ordering from. You're lessening the burden on the suburban ones. You're helping the cause of the people and hitting the clientele of that area. You're also basically giving more reasons for people to invest into the city. That too can help provide a community broadband, which then can provide sensor technology. You could have a struggling city turn into a smart city through sensor technology in 6 months. Why aren't we doing it?
Now, just
Well, there's
when you say
funding.
smart city, what's the full implication of smart city?
So IoT devices, we're talking about, or like sensor technology that can monitor air, parking, things of that nature. You can have kiosks to help people engage and like access things of library systems or pay their parking tickets or their water bills, so they don't have to go into City Hall, things of that nature. Or they can get information. Where can I go to apply for a permit? Where can I go to get my license? Where can I like things of that nature, or a map of the general area, what stores and functions are in this like business district. You can do a lot
So
of
like
different
a
things.
physical building with terminals or kiosks that each are individuated to all these technical processes. So for the ease of use for the person.
Yep. And not just that, but like just even on the corners, on the street corners in front of like, like the like in that business district, the walking district, like obviously there's going to be security that can like, monitor if it's all broadband related anyway. But like, there's going to be like, kiosks that can help people like get to information that they need. Like, hey, look, I just went here to file my taxes. Where can I go to eat? What restaurants are in the area? Boom, 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 boom. Constantly updated by possibly like a downtown association or something, or a community organization within the community. There's a lot of different possibilities that can be done, and there is like abilities for funding to do that and upcoming. But it's there's a lot of situations where people need things now. Like, and I don't know if you know this, but there's this thing called the Affordable Connectivity Program, where qualified, homeowners or families can, if they're families of four making 55K and under a year, if you have SSI, if you're a veteran, if there's a whole bunch of different uh, qualifications that you can have, and you can get like up to $30 a month off of your internet bill. And if it's partnered with something like an Internet Essentials by Comcast or Xfinity, it's practically free internet. And that's available right now if you go to getinternet.gov. So like there's like things out there, things like information like that, but I just think that like we don't do a good enough job of getting that out to the public more, or getting the buy-in. So
Right. So it's the idea that on your cell phone, yes, you have unlimited access to information, but unlimited, unfiltered to a large extent, access to information. So if you Google some of these things, so because some people might be like, well, I could do this on my phone. Yeah, but no, because you're going to get 100 links, and some of them are going to be from the Gov. Some of the sponsored ones will be at the top. You'll get a pop up, maybe depending on where you are, what your browser is, and all of a sudden, like you don't have this clear, easy access. So it would be better to have some place where you could go so you could have a terminal and a website even, but someplace where you go and you have it like structured so when you ask a question you're getting a specific answer that guides you to the best benefit for you as a person. Like you didn't even know there was free internet available, you didn't even know the question to ask, so it's putting you in the right direction. I think that sounds awesome.
and that's all we have to that's what we have to like really do, like, and that's the other to that is the other caveat is like the amount of programs that there are. So like for instance, like I just told you about the Affordable Connectivity Program. Well, there's also SafeLink, and there's also Lifeline, and like and like the way that these are structured, there's nothing wrong with these programs, but I think we need to do better to explain to the people that they're benefiting, like the elderly and our senior communities and so forth, what each of them are, how they can help them, and how they will benefit them so they're not using the wrong program for the wrong thing. And then, like, so for instance, the ACP is specifically for internet. If you use it for your phone, now you don't have an internet plan to go to, and now Lifeline it jams out, it cogs up the wheel. So I
Right.
think the other part of that is just getting the amount of programs listed on one site, how they help, who's it for, and explaining that. I think we're already on a good wave. So
Yeah, or if it started with a questionnaire and you just answer all these questions that are going to filter into the information it's providing, and then at the end it goes, "Oh, you answered this, this, and this. Here's these 7 things that you should do now in this order so that you could save this much money or this much time, or just make it incredibly simple."
exactly. It's not all we should be trying to achieve, but it's something that we should be trying to achieve in the now, just so like people can get more clarity, more comfortability, and like I said, in a world where you see the Twitter verses and everyone fighting with each other and everything, there's got to be at some point like a look. Everyone's not out to hurt everyone. We're actually out to help people too. Like, and I want to be the one who, like, no matter what I do, I'll be known for trying to help change the idea that of how we help each other. Like I want to continue to show through action that here's how we do things. Here's what I can help you with. Here's how I can help you here. I don't know how to do this, but guess what? I know someone who can. Like and like that's the other thing is like I've noticed like some people are so territorial too. Like they're afraid to refer someone because it might hurt them. Like I think if I referred someone, they're gonna come the person and if they that person does a good job, they're gonna come back to see if I knew someone else. And it might be something I know of. Like they're gonna trust my opinion if I referred someone good who can do something better than I can.
Yeah, of course.
Like why I think we should also kind of be more honest with ourselves and with each other about what our limits and our limitations are. But I don't know, that goes into another field.
Yeah, well, it's either people don't understand or just don't properly value networking.
It it's a shame because like and that's the other part of it. Like is it that they think that like networking is just something that's like handed to you? Like because I felt like there have been times where I've been put in a situation there and people are expecting like, hey, look, it doesn't like well my services also come as they're called services for their services, but like not everything, but like I'll give advice for these. I think the other part is it's like I guess we all want to help each other. We all want help. We all like at least I want to give help as much as I can. I want to better the situations of many people as I can, and I want to do it in abundance. I want to use whatever I can that comes into my cups to fill other people's cups, and that's just I wouldn't be here if it didn't happen for me. Like it's just like it's almost like the pay it forward meets like the go giver mentality. Just one of those things. Being grateful and wanting to give back. That's what I'm trying to emanate.
I agree with you. Only part I would challenge you on is you said everybody wants to. I find it's incredibly rare. I want to, you want to. Certain people I've resonated with and connected with because of the places and situations I put myself are on a similar wavelength. But I don't find that the if you split it 80-20, I think 20% of people want to help people, and 80% of America, I think, is victim or in this process of the isolation of the individual, the divide and conquer, either intentionally or unintentionally, of the way we have society set up
I'll challenge you on that though.
in America.
I'm gonna challenge you on that. And it's everyone you surround yourself with. I'm not focusing on the 80% that you feel are out to, like really give it to the other people. I'm focusing on the 20% and
Yeah,
saying let's grow with that
me
20%
too.
and let's build it. Let's show them, and I feel that that 20% will grow. If it grows 21% at the end of the year, cool, it grew. If it grows 21.1% the year after, it still grew. But the whole fact is I want to continue working with people who see the let's go get more positivity out there. Let's go get this. And that was the cool thing that I've always, for the longest time, as long as I could remember, I've shared some kind of quote from Gary V when he was just doing all that kind of stuff. But I've never adopted into the V friends, and more of so that you're telling me all this cool positive stuff coming out. There's something else I should be kind of experiencing just because
Oh, it's so good.
it just seems all the cool positive people that I have on my algo on Twitter are all V friends, and I feel like the one guy who's like,
V friends, it's
I want to be
95-5. 95% positive, 5%. I don't know what those people are doing, but 95%, everyone's dope.
awesome. I'm gonna have to definitely I was Gary, I was one of the ones petitioning Gary V to buy the New York Jets, and I would be a Jets fan instead of a Cow. I was just like, please do it. But
He's working on it.
I one of the people who's early in my, not early, but during one of my music uh stages when I was booking a lot of bands, there was this kid who did a lot of photography that I hired to photo my shows, and it was a pretty cool kid. His name was Dave Constantini. He ended up working for Gary V in New York, and I was just like, I was so stoked for him. I was like, this is amazing. It's I felt like a proud promoter or whatever. Just like this guy worked for someone that I idolize and I look up to. And just he was taking pictures of my shows, man. Now, and so it was for him. And I remember seeing his LinkedIn, and Gary V actually commenting on it. Was like, I'm I wish you the best on anything you do and you accomplish. And I'm like, when he decided to leave Vayner Media or whatever, and he was and just to see that from a boss, I wish you the best. Go ahead, go prosper. That was pretty cool. So, but
It's rare you leave any work organization with that thumbs up.
yeah. So I loved you love to see it. You love to see it. And you kind of, it shows that's a cool place to work, a cool person to work for. That's a cool person that be around. And that's the type of person I try to keep in that circle. I've had my share of people with negative outlooks and vibes, and I know what that felt like. I know how much it held me back. And one of Gary V's friends, who I also resonate with and I hang out a lot with, and I follow him, David Meltzer, says this thing all the time, and he says, "Show me your friends, and I'll show you your future." And I'm like, when that clicked, like a lot of things changed, and a lot of things, started going in a different trajectory. So and so I believe that definitely, and watching the V friends on the Twitter feed and the Twitterverse and all that positivity, it's definitely made me enjoy my Twitter stay.
Yeah, another way I've heard it phrased is you are the best and worst of the seven people around you, or some number, six, seven, eight. You're the best and worst of the immediate circle of people around you. So I agree with what you said.
So
Yeah, I when I heard that you're the best and worst of the people around you, I started thinking about the relationships I had, and I realized nobody around me was even having the conversations I want to have, and I was settling for these people as the people in my life, thinking, oh, can you replace them, or I know these people from this or that, or it feels weird, and eventually I decided I gotta kind of just let it drift or make whatever distance because I started talking to them. That's what I did. I started talking to them all the time about, well, how do we make money? What about instead of this and that and the game and the wings and whatever, what we could do that. But when we're eating wings, can we talk about making money? And eventually they were like, dude, Ian's always trying to talk about making money. And they kind of it just kind of happened on its own. And I'm like, yeah, dude, I want to make money and I want to make the world better. And I want to do them both at the same time, and I want to be surrounded with people who are talking that way and thinking that way and doing that way. And you don't have to tell people like I don't want to be friends with like if you just keep like doing it, you will not naturally the people who are like not about it will kind of just like precipitate out. But then other people who are who knows where these people even come from? It just happens from the universe or whatever. They kind of precipitate in. So it's a natural filter and retuning and re-resonation I find that happens.
I resonate with that wholly. Like when I was in high school, there was like a clique that I hung out with that was just like all about at the time going to the mall, going to Best Buy, playing with the free video games, which was fun, awesome, fun. It was cool. It was going to the movies. It was cool. It was awesome, cool, fun times, things to do. And after a while, it was just like I want to make money. Like I'm a Trenton, New Jersey kid, and there is no time when you're not thinking about how do you make money. They say if you can make it in New York, you can make it anywhere. No, like if you, there's a Trenton makes world takes bridge for a reason, brother. And like so, after a while, I just started saying, all right, screw it. I didn't end up making money really. I did a lot of more of community service. I did like music promotion, things like that. I found a way to market at a time where there wasn't really a lot of marketing happening. And I was just doing right this and that. I was actually doing food kitchens in churches, things of that nature. I thought nothing of it. Senior year happens, and I had to like, I went to a Catholic high school. I had to like, do my community service hours, put it in. I'm thinking, then I heard that there was a mandatory you had to do 50 hours to graduate, and I'm like, shit, what do I have? And I'm like tallying up. I'm like, I hit like 500, and I'm like, I don't gotta worry about this. All right, cool. Thought nothing of it, and next thing you know, I got a whole bunch of scholarships from like all these people for all the amount of goodwill I've done to like, and I'm like, here I thought I was just gonna be like whatever. Like I didn't. It was crazy, but the whole thing is like do goodwill, man. Just do it because you want to. Don't expect anything in return. Yeah, I got a cool bunch of scholarships. I didn't expect it. I didn't ask for it. I just did it because it just felt good, just helping other people. But that's like the kind of way it turned with each and every group of friends. Like you have these groups that you think you want to bring with you. Like you see their talents, they just don't see it yet themselves. You see in them and you're trying to like guide them through like let's go ahead and do this, let's do this and after a while like you said it naturally falls off. It they your I guess your attention to intention or your intention to attention, basically like there's a shift and you just start carrying on. And I think that's what brought me into, the different things that the successes, the different lessons, the different opportunities, and the different challenges that, have come across and all that brought me here to where we are today.
I like the way you said that. Intention to attention and attention to intention. 100%. I like it works both ways. I like stuff like that. It's like cute, it's cool, it's fun, but it's 100% spot on. Like it's like Occam's razor, cuts through the bullshit. It's 100% true. That's exactly what happened. I did, and I did too. I kept thinking, well, dude, if you did this and he did this and I did this, like, couldn't we all do this? And instead of it being like, yeah, like we could all do this, it was more like, bro, why do you keep telling us what we should be doing? And I would be like, okay, so what do you think we should do? And they're like, nothing. And I'm like, what do you mean nothing, dude? Like if you have a better plan, I will defer. I don't need to be the leader. I just need to have like a good plan. And you could be the leader. Anyone could be the leader. I'm not a. That's not my thing. But dude, we have to have the best plan. So whoever has the best plan should be the leader, or whoever has the best plan should give it to the leader. And they're like, let's just not plan. And I'm like, nah, nah. We should plan for the future, dude.
Like and that's the thing. Like I mean, like it. I think that's what hurts, but frustrates the most is when like people just don't have that. Like you don't realize that if we don't have something, we're gonna be. The perfect example is COVID. Nobody planned to not have any type of connectivity or not have to leave their house or not have to like. No one planned for any of this. Like when COVID hit, I had just become the first technology officer for the city of Trenton, and I was in my role for literally only a week and a half, and they were like, "Yeah, so you're not just the CTO, by the way. You're the backup PIO." I was like, "What? Well, you know this city." Like, all right, here we are creating dashboards. We're creating like I got like data sets and everything, and then at this around the same time, like a cyber attack wants to come in that I had to thwart and save the city $1 million for, all this crazy stuff. But like nobody was ready for all this stuff to like actually happen at the same time. Like nobody was there was no plan. But I feel like if we plan for things better. It might not be what's the best case scenario at the time, but we got a plan.
It's better to plan. And it's funny you say that because without getting political or whatever, because I personally, dude, I think it's stupid. I hate both sides. I think if you're a Democrat or a Republican, you're trapped in the cola wars of Coke and Pepsi. And like, bro, what about Fago and Fanta and stuff, bro? You've been swept into the grand illusion that there's only two choices and get out of it.
RC Cola. That's it.
There you go. RC Cola. See, like if you're in Pep, you know what I mean? Like the false binary. I'm against the false. Like you can only choose this and this. But I will say that there was a planning committee and Trump fired him, dude. He like I heard he asked him in the beginning of it. And honestly, like again, I'm not saying I hate him. I don't hate him. But like someone wanted to plan at one point, and then they were like, "We don't need. Let's put the funding somewhere else." And then I can't tell you what would have happened if we had a plan, but we saw what happened when we didn't. I just feel like, again, yeah, maybe it would have been better if we didn't fire those people, dude. Maybe that was like funding that was worth it. And like, dude, I get the thinking too, because we didn't have a pandemic in between. We're like, how long have we not used those guys, dude? Let's offload those files. Like, let's just. But like, ugh, what bad timing.
Like what? That probably wasn't the best day to be like play like a government apprentice.
You're fired. Those are the wrong guys and gals. And
In the boardroom at the table, cameras rolling.
they're like, what have you done in the past 5 years? And when the past 5 years we didn't have pandemic, they were like, we're planning. And he's like, sounds kind of sketch. I can kind of get it, but in the long run, bad decision. Bad decision.
Oh gosh. Oh, that was great. My cheeks hurt.
Good.
um yeah, I just there's a lot of things that we could have probably made better if we planned better, but look, lessons learned. We're planning now. We're doing our best to make things happen. Like there's a lot of cool things that have come from like that pandemic. Like for instance, people becoming more reliant on trying to fix things themselves, becoming more independent. I mean, I've seen more influencers on social media now than I've ever seen before. And that's cool. I think that if I see a lot more people doing like things like esports and e-gaming, that's also cool. Not everyone's going to be a football player, but hey, look, if we can create outcomes where like Joey, who plays Xbox in his room, is now getting a scholarship and he's designing like different programs for people to do like like making diet like making your health problem a video game where you're more comfortable accepting it, or something for children who are diagnosed with something like something use case where it becomes valuable for people to feel better about themselves. I'm not propagandize, but feel better about their situations, tell them the truth. But I don't like there's a bunch of different things that we could be doing, but
Dude, I've been picturing that for I don't even know how long, maybe most of my life, because at a certain point I decided that or I understood that I was a gamer and that was one of my core drives. Like I could spend 10 hours in a video game. Most people can't spend 10 hours doing anything. I can't spend 10 hours doing most things, but I could lose time and days when I'm focused on a character in a video game. And then from there I was thinking, how do I make that more my life? And I've done it in all the ways I can think of for myself. Like I'll give myself like kind of credit and points for things. But dude, if I had a user interface that was a digital avatar of me that linked up to like my smartwatch and my phone and my steps, and it counted all of my stats, and then it put them like next to my character. Like, yeah, my watch counts my steps, but what if it was all of the things that I do in a day, and then I put in my eating, and then it told me I was like level 9, dude? What if I could fucking level up? And yeah, it's fake, so to speak, but no, it's not, dude, because it'll correlate the levels to a certain amount of health or fitness
Bro,
or how many books I've read. Like, it would just,
why
I would do
why
it
why
more.
don't you create that?
I don't know. I don't know. Like, you need a coder. You need the graphic design person. Like, I have the
Let's find
idea.
them.
Like,
See, look.
I don't
So
have the.
that's
I'm in.
you just
I'm in.
got me full circle. You just got me full
I'm in.
circle.
I put the ideas out there, dude. Like,
No,
I'm
no, you
always
just
down
got
to
me
be
full
in, but I
circle
I
because
need the team.
that's what I do. So like that's what I'm about is I'm trying I that's what my whole purpose is, I feel, is to find people's passions like you just said. Like that right there, that's a cool, awesome idea. And to try to help people get it. So,
Gamify your life.
yo, that's awesome. And like each thing that they do that's positive, like take a vitamin or something, gives them points for the day or something. Like if like they
Yeah,
know that
dude.
like
Network with like I was gonna say, then you network with like vitamin companies and like, so let's say you're a certain amount of healthy GNC. If you eat broccoli or whatever, like, and I don't know, maybe it's an honor. You got to work it out somehow. But or maybe it's videos, bro. They have people verifying. I don't know, whatever it is. Or maybe it's if you lose a certain amount of weight. Maybe it can't be the food at first because you can't verify. But maybe if it's you take 10,000 steps in a week, GNC will give you 10% off that week. And then starts to become advertising. Like, I see it being a real thing, but like you said, how do I become like how do I make it
so
real?
here's how we do it. Like we personalize it, right? We go into like each and every like for instance, like here's me doing my audit of you, right? Like, okay, so what are your goals that you want to accomplish? Like, oh, well, what points do you think? Like, let's say your goal for this week, Ian, is you want to do intermittent fasting. So we'll basically put a point system in place where this is what you do, and this is how you quantify, and this is how we calculate the data for how much points you get in a day if you do intermittent fasting correctly, and if you don't, blah blah blah. And so this is how we gamify your points for what your mission is today, your mission objective. You hit it, you intermittent fast, you didn't eat till after 1 o'clock, you're boom, you got your 16 hours in. How much water intake did you have? Blah 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 blah. Okay, cool. You were at 75% of your mission objective today. Sorry, but you didn't get the full score or whatever for that day. Or like so like at the end of it, you get like instead of 2 slices of pizza at the end of the day, you only get the one.
Right. But then the hardest part though on all these ideas I have, because I have a few ideas, it's paying somebody. Like, I don't have all this startup capital. I have no startup capital to venture fund a business. So it's either getting like a venture fund or whatever, but like because or getting someone who believes in the idea and the dream who is a coder. So that's what I have a podcast, bro. Who knows how many people listen to this? That's step one for me, is just at least speaking it into existence. So now you're on board. People are gonna hear this, see this, listen to this. Other people get on board. But I either need somebody to fund this, and then I'm ready to go in on it, or somebody who is a programmer, a coder, or a developer who could start literally building the app and the structure and the user interface and the framework, because that's the part where I just don't have the skill, and I don't think in my head it's realistic to learn that skill just to go forward with this one task, because it requires other skills, and I have those skills, the thinking, the framework, the breaking it down. Like that, me and you could do, but I personally cannot create a digital graphic user interface at this time.
And that's what you get when you go to my business card and you basically, get consulting with me, because that's the kind of stuff that I help people with, is getting that kind of stuff, the people in place to get it, getting the plan together, getting the roadmap set up so people's passions like the one you just talked about can get more out there. Yeah, this is a cool outlet too, because you're on your platform, you're speaking into existence, and maybe it was meant for you to speak it to my existence. Maybe it was meant for us to be on this show to say like, look, this is what we're trying to do. This is what's something that would help people. Like, shit, gamify your life. dude, you get points for like and sponsored stuff like who knows, it could even make it a crypto thing. You get mobile tokens or something, like how Helium Mobile's putting that stuff out there, just for having the service. Like who knows, Helium Mobile, maybe might want to get and sponsor this as part of your use case with your blockchain technology. Who knows, tag them when you post this thing, tag them.
I will. Like I said, dude, I'm an ideas, and ideas are nothing without execution. But I'm not like scared of the execution. It's just my first step is putting it out there. So that's always where I start.
Awesome. Awesome. Let's go.
Now, let me say to you this. So this is a perfect segue here. But in the 10 minutes here, it's the guest spotlight, it's the promotion, it's the self promotion. So you were just talking about taking my idea, how you do networking, how you do consulting, how you partner with people and make their ideas real. So we just had one case scenario with what you could do with what I'm thinking and taking my idea and expanding it and putting it into reality. But do you want to take this, 5-10 minutes here, do the guest spotlight, tell everybody about this online business card you have? What is the link? Where can they find you? What do they type into Google? Or not Google, where do they type it? Tell us who you are, what you're doing, and how we can access you.
My name is Joey. My name is Joey Domenic. I do a lot of things. You can find me at ceojoey.com. ceojoey.com. That's Charlie, Eddie, Oscar, Joey, like the baby kangaroo.com. Um, and what I do is basically this is I am very passionate about people. I'm very passionate about trying to help people and try to change the trajectory of the way people perceive and receive kindness. I'm with a nonprofit called Happy Smiles. I have my company where we do marketing, media, consulting, strategy, etc. I've done everything from marketing campaigns for musicians, tours, booking, anything that you can possibly think of. I've marketed and I've created a project roadmap to help its success. You can visit my digital business card at ceojoey.com. Find out more. Let's talk. Let's get engaged with our passions. You can see for yourself. It's a whole bunch of photos there. Let's talk more. And that's kind of where it is with that. Like I just like helping people. I just like doing my best to make people's passions like come to reality. And if I can't do it, if I can't do it myself or it's a heavy lift for me, I will go in my go-giver mentality and help someone else. Also, big into Helium Mobile. Helium Mobile is a mobile carrier that does unlimited 5G internet for $5 a month right now. It just launched in Miami, Florida. You might want to go to Hello Helium and check it out. I have no affiliation with them outside of the fact that I use their service and I have deployed their service and I collect their mobile tokens, and that's just where it is, just for having a service. That's right, they pay you for having their service by mapping out their coverage. So when your data is being used by your current mobile carrier or whatever, they take the time to pay you back for mapping out where they need more coverage at. The current network's backed by T-Mobile, so anytime that the network drops, T-Mobile picks it up. And the reason they pay you for that type of service is because they're trying to build it out themselves. So why hold it back? We are going to reward you in mobile token. I've been in since beta. I've made pretty much about $100 in mobile rewards so far. So at $5 a month for a mobile service, come on, when's the next time I have to pay a bill?
That sounds great.
There we go.
So we'll leave it there. That's Joey Domenic. You heard it here yourself. He's a guy similar to myself. He's passionate about passion. He's passionate about positivity. He's here to network with you. He's here to do consulting. He has services. Some of these services have prices. Some of it he'll just help you out. There's a line in between. You got to be respectful. You got to have a reasonable understanding of how business works, how networking works, how the world works. But to the extent that it is possible and he can, he's here to help you out. He's here to at least point you in the right direction. That he's happy to do at no cost. If he can't do it himself, he can't offer the service, there's nothing he could charge. He'll send you in the right way, similar to the same way I would do, because we're both here to help people. We're here to help the world. We're not We're not the percentage
Amen.
of the world, whatever it is, that's only out for themselves and is looking to, stab you in the back and step over each other. No, we see this world where, hey, I'm going to take care of myself so I can take care of you. You take care of yourself so you can take care of me. And let's all take care of ourselves so we can all take care of each other. I'm going to thank you so much for coming on the show. Last thing I'll ask you, we're not going to ask you what you would go back and tell your younger self because we don't want a butterfly effect firework bomb your legs off. And you know what I mean if you've seen that movie. But what would you tell a young person now whose future is not set in stone yet, or maybe not even a young person, any person? What would you tell people who are just catching you today that maybe all their friends around them are not great or whatever? They're not where we're directing them. What's their first step, or what would you say to someone like that who's heard you for the hour and they're like, I'm in, what do I do next?
I would. I have to borrow what I would say from DMC himself, Mr. Daryl McDaniels, and who I had the pleasure of meeting last week. And if you go to my digital business card, you'll see a photo of that. But what I will say is that Mr. DMC himself told a whole bunch of people that he is not better than them. That everyone is the same and anyone can do what they want. He told a bunch of people that hip hop started because someone made fun of his poem in grade school. Hip hop started, 50 years of hip hop started because of a poem that was made fun of, and he didn't give up on. What can you start that you don't give up on because someone made fun of you? When someone makes fun of you or anything like that, it's not because of you, it's because they have a problem with themselves and their own insecurity. I know you hear that a lot, but I believe it. Don't limit what your possibilities are. Just keep believe. If you have that feeling inside you, that fire inside you, if there's something that basically bothers you that you're not doing it and you want to do it, take that risk, just go do it, because that's what you're meant to do, and that's what I'm doing by doing CEOJoey.com, because there's this fire inside me that says I need to help more people, and I'm not doing enough, and that it's not about me, it's bigger than me, and that's what I would say is if you have a fire inside you, follow it.
There you go. So if you got that fire inside you, let that fire burn. When one candle lights another candle, both of them keep their flame. So you light yourself on fire, you light your boys up, everybody's lit, dude. Everybody has their flame. No one loses anything, spreading that joy and that warmth all around. And that's what it is. That's the message from Joey Domenic. We close out the way that we came into the show with gratitude. So, Joey, thank you again so much for coming on the show. Like I said, we appreciate your
Thank
message. We
you.
appreciate your positivity. We appreciate you making yourself available on the show and outside at CEOJoey.com. Again, we thank the audience. Thank you so much for coming and listening. If an audience doesn't come to listen to a podcast, were the two people on the show even doing it on a recording? I think yes. I don't think it works like the tree in the forest, but you know what I'm talking about. Thank you for coming to the show. We really appreciate it. And again, thank you to God, source, energy, the universe, whatever it is that ties us all together beyond the social media networking. I'm talking about that human soul, spirit connection networking. Thank you to that grand oneness and power. We are grateful. And if you haven't heard it today, you are loved.